Ever feel like the world is a little off? Like maybe something isn't quite right? Is this chair you're sitting on real, or just a pixel in a giant computer simulation? Welcome to the world of solipsism, where the only thing you can be sure of is you. So, what exactly is solipsism? Put simply, it's the idea that the only thing we can be absolutely certain of is the existence of our own minds. Everything else, the world around us, other people, even your pet goldfish, could all be part of an elaborate dream our minds are cooking up. Basically, it's saying, hey, maybe it's just me. Now, most of us don't actually believe this in our daily lives. We stub our toes, we feel the heat of the sun, we have conversations with friends. These experiences feel pretty darn real. Why we don't believe it? Solipsism says only our minds are real. But hold on, we stub our toes, feel sunshine, and share experiences with others. These things feel real and consistent. It's hard to imagine our minds conjuring up stubbed toes just for fun. Plus, if everyone has their own unique world, why would our experiences of the sky or a conversation be so similar? Illusions exist, but they trick us because there's something real to be tricked by. Our daily lives just scream reality a little too loud for solipsism to be believable. But solipsism forces us to question how we know these things are real. We perceive the world through our senses: sight, touch, smell, hearing, taste. But what if our senses are messing with us? Maybe that delicious pizza you're about to devour is actually a giant sentient broccoli monster in disguise. Okay, that's a bit of a stretch, but you get the idea. There's a famous thought experiment by a philosopher named René Descartes. Imagine you're in a deep dream, so real it feels like you're awake. In that dream, you could see, hear, and feel things. So how can you be sure you're not dreaming right now? Descartes' answer was, I think, therefore I am. Solipsism takes this idea to the extreme. It says, sure, my mind exists, but how do I know anything else does? But here's the thing. Solipsism, while interesting to think about, is kind of a dead end. If nothing else exists, then there's no point in even trying to communicate with anyone. Because who are you communicating with? Just yourself. Sounds lonely. Solipsism, the extreme doubt. So we've established that our everyday experiences make solipsism a tough sell. But let's delve deeper into the actual philosophy itself. Imagine a more extreme version of Descartes' I think, therefore I am. Solipsism takes that idea and runs with it like a thought experiment on steroids. Here's the core principle. The only thing we can be absolutely certain of is the existence of our own minds. Everything else is an illusion. It's a radical idea, right? It forces us to question the very foundation of reality. Is that chair you're sitting on actually there? Or just a complex hallucination your mind is generating? Maybe that delicious slice of pizza you're about to devour is really just a figment of your imagination. Although that would be a real bummer. But here's the problem with solipsism. It's a dead end. If nothing else exists but your own mind, then communication, purpose, and even the concept of reality become meaningless. It's a lonely rabbit hole with no way out. So, is solipsism completely wrong? Most philosophers say yes. They argue that the consistency of our experiences, the limitations of our senses, and the existence of other minds all point towards a reality beyond our own. But here's a twist. Solipsism can be a useful thought experiment. It forces us to question our assumptions about the world and how we know what we know. It can also make us appreciate the amazing complexity of our own minds. Solipsism as a thought experiment. While solipsism might seem like a philosophical dead end, dismissing it entirely would be a missed opportunity. Think of it as a mental gymnastic exercise. By grappling with the idea that only your mind exists, you're forced to confront your most basic assumptions about the world. How do you know that chair you're sitting on is real and not just an elaborate hallucination? Solipsism pushes you to examine the evidence for the external world, questioning your senses and their limitations. Interesting questions solipsism raises. If the world is truly just your mind's playground, could you create anything you desired? Imagine conjuring up a never-ending buffet of your favorite food, or teleporting yourself to a tropical paradise. The possibilities seem limitless. However, solipsism throws cold water on this pizza-fueled fantasy. The ability to create freely might be limited by the rules and logic your own mind establishes. More importantly, solipsism throws a philosophical wrench into the concept of morality. If nothing else exists but your own mind, then good and evil become subjective experiences. Does stealing a cookie from a jar still count as wrong if there's no one else to be wronged? Solipsism forces us to confront the very foundation of ethical behavior. Here's the thing. Solipsism, while a bit of a philosophical dead end in terms of practicality, serves a valuable purpose. It forces us to confront our assumptions about reality, appreciate the complexity of our minds, and maybe even question if that slice of pizza is truly delicious or just a figment of our imagination, though hopefully not. So, what are your thoughts on solipsism? Let us know in the comments below. Hey, even if I am just a brain in a box, talking to myself, at least it's been a fun conversation, right?